Welcome gamers to this week's vlog. So this week has been particularly busy with non-gaming related things, so I didn't get anywhere near as much gaming time that I was hoping to get, and thus I haven't actually been able to get any games completed this week, partly because of not having as much gaming time as I thought, but also the first game I started playing this week actually hit a bit of a roadblock on it, and it's much more difficult than I was anticipating. I thought it was going to be a very quick and easy cleanup from my backlog, and I got to the point where the story in the game was easy, but then there's these final challenges which are proving very difficult. Now I need to get 24 gold medals and I've got 16 so far, so I'm working away at them, but I was getting very frustrated and I was taking so long on it. I decided for the time being just to put it to one side and move on to another game, and then come back to it with maybe some fresh eyes in the next week or so. But I then started another game which was essentially the longest game that I've still got outstanding for the Ultimate Trophy Hunters Challenge, which is my 60+ hour game. So I thought I'd better make a start on that and just play a little bit each day to keep chipping away at that one. And also started on another backlog game, and I got within one trophy of the platinum before having to stop to record this vlog. The thing is with that, it's not a difficult last trophy. However, I don't know how long it's going to take to get that. There's no in-game tracker, and the thing I need to do, I might be 1 away, or I could be, another 10 away, and that could be anything from 5 minutes to sort of 2 or 3 hours. And I had to just pause to get this vlog done, so I will be going back to that, and then I'll be able to report on some platinums next week's vlog. So with that in mind, I'll do a quick recap and go over the trophies that I have earned and the games that I have played. But I'm also then going to do a bit of a look at my PlayStation wrap-up for 2025 that they sent through, and also the True Trophies wrap-up, and compare them and see which of those wrap-ups I think are better. So let's get straight into it with the recap of my own trophies this week first. Let's now take a quick look at the PSN Profiles trophy log and do a bit of a recap of all the trophies that I've earned this week, starting off on Monday when I booted up the Asterix and Obelix Triple XL, the RAM from Hibernia. This is the game that I thought was going to be a pretty quick and easy backlog cleanup, but the end game sort of like challenges to get gold medals has proven to be a huge difficulty spike, and there's no guides out for this game, so I've got no idea what other people sort of like determine it in difficulty wise, but for me it's proved to be a bit tricky. And although I've got 16 out of the 24 gold medals, I was starting to get frustrated, so I decided to move on to the longest game that I've got outstanding in my challenge, which is Graveyard Keeper, which is going to be the 61 to 70 hour sort of time slot on the game lengths. Now this is a game that is going to take that long, if not longer. It's an RPG in a retro style, absolutely fantastic game, and I'm really enjoying it. But it's one of those ones where I'm going to be doing a little bit each day to try and keep chipping away at it, rather than just sort of solely do that game, because I want to play other games at the same time. And this is one that I'm hoping I'll be able to get that platinum by the end of the year by just chipping away at it over the next 2.5 weeks. I then also moved on to 39 Days to Mars, which is the game that was cleaning up from my backlog, and I've just got that one trophy outstanding, so the platinum should be mine soon. It's just a case of I wasn't able to quite secure that final trophy, and I don't know how many of the requirements that I've done, and so I don't know if it's just another 5 minutes to get the platinum or another couple of hours. So I'll be definitely getting that platinum within the next sort of like day, and then I'll be able to report on that next week. So with that in mind, let's now do a quick check of the overall stats where I'm at in the Ultimate Trophy Hunters Challenge. So these are my stats on the Ultimate Trophy Hunters Challenge, and as you can see, I'm still on the 335 platinum, so I've got 86 so far this year, so 14 left to go. The gold, silver and now the bronze trophy counts have all been done, so I've now this week managed to get enough bronze to complete that challenge. The ultra rare platinums is still at 9, and the ultra rare trophy count is still at 75, so no change on those. The trophy streak is up to 347 days out of 365, so really close to the end now. And the completion percentage increase, as you can see, was 85.88, so that's a total increase of 8.48 so far. So I'm not going to go over the rest of the spreadsheet now, because there's been no change to the other parts of the spreadsheet from last week's vlog. as I've had no game completions. But please feel free to take a look at this spreadsheet whenever you like. The link for it is down in the description, and if you wish, you can follow live and check each day what games are being completed. I update this every time I've completed a game and as I'm working on games, so it's usually very, very up to date and accurate. So with all that being said, now let's take a look at the recap or the wrap up that PlayStation sent me. So let's look at the official PlayStation 2025 wrap up. As you can see, I'm level 620 and joined in 2008. So let's view my score. So it says in 2025 I've played 151 games, and that's 69 on the PS5 and 82 on the PS4. And this is where I am a bit disappointed, because it doesn't show any of my PS3 or Vita games. And I understand that's probably due to some sort of technical error. They probably track these completely differently. They probably don't even track the PS3 and Vita at all because they're on different servers. But it's just a bit of a disappointment because it doesn't show a true representation of my gaming year in that case. But it is what it is, and what it's showing here we'll just go over. So top 5 games, it's saying Army of Ruin with 88 hours, Aliens Fireteam Elite on the PS5, 85 hours, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, 83 hours, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Edition, 73 hours, and Gas Guzzlers Extreme, 56 hours. So I'm a bit sort of wary of those numbers, because there's no way I've played Lego Star Wars Force Awakens for 83 hours and Army of Ruin for 88 hours and Gas Guzzlers Extreme for 56. All I can assume is that it's taken into account idle time, and just due to the nature of how I game with a young family, I quite often have to pause the game and go off, and I might not come back to the console for a couple of hours, sometimes even 4 or 5 hours before I get back to a gaming session. So I just assume that there's probably a huge amount of idle time in those statistics. So that means the whole thing about how many hours is tracked, I can't really sort of believe too much in it. But that's what it's showing. So let's move on to the next page. And this is showing the gaming style. It says I'm a thrill seeker, action adventure, spent 36% of my game time exploring worlds and conquering challenges that made every adventure unforgettable. I probably agree with that. Due to my sort of Ultimate Trophy Hunters challenge, I have been playing a lot of sort of action sort of style games. And you know, even the PS3 ones that are not included in here, I've got Dark Souls 1 and 2, I've got Alien Isolation, The Evil Within. You know, they probably sort of come under the action sort of side of things as well. So yeah, I'd probably agree that that's probably the most dominating one for me this year. Moving on to the next page. So it says the hours played, 1,851. Again, I can't really take much stock in that because I don't know if it's counting idle time or not. But also it's not counting any of the PS3, which is going to be quite a large amount as well. So, but overall, PlayStation 5, PlayStation Portal and PS4. So yeah, I still play on the PS4 Pro. Essentially, I have some games that I've only got disc versions of, and my PS5 is a digital only. So if I'm going to play any of those, I have to play it on the PS4 Pro, which I still have set up. PlayStation Portal, I wish I'd played more this year on there. I haven't played anywhere near as much as I thought, but mainly because of traveling is where I use it. When I'm in the house, I don't tend to use it as much, and if I do, it might only be sort of 5-10 minutes worth at a time. So I'm not really surprised that it's not that many, but 14 hours over 24 play sessions, it probably shows that, you know, every time I pick it up, I'm only doing it for a very, very small amount of time. And then moving on to the next page, it shows that oh, it's thanking me for being a member, and it's got a custom playlist for me. So Dead Island 2, Silent Hill 2, Cyberpunk, Mortal Kombat, Cult of the Lamb and Dead Cells are recommended, and those are ones that I am very interested in playing. So yeah, I've been a PS Plus member for 13.4 years, and in 2025 I played 32 PS Plus games. Then moving on to the next page. So now we're looking at some trophy statistics. So 2,296 trophies. That's low because I have actually got a lot more than that, which you'll see when we look at the True Trophies ones, which counts all the PS3 and Vita games as well. So it's actually substantially more. As you could see from my Ultimate Trophy Hunters Challenge wrap up, I've got 86 platinums this year, and this is only showing 73. So obviously it's not including any of those PS3 ones. So we won't sort of dwell too much on that, but it's showing trophy milestones. Again, I don't know how accurate these are in terms of, it's obviously not going to count any of the PS3 ones, but let's just have a quick look at some of the games. It's got first trophy this year, Vampire Survivors, 10th was Abzu, 25th on Firewatch, 50th on Vampire Survivors, my 100th trophy was on Dark Souls 3, 200th on Flipping Death, 300th on High on Life, 400th was Heavenly Bodies, 500th was Mining Mechs, 600th was Varney Lake, 700 was Death Trap Dungeon, then 800th was Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, the 900th was White Shadows, the 1000th trophy was Sharon's Staircase, and then my latest was on Graveyard Keeper. So obviously I'd hit my 1000th trophy milestone by the 20th of May, and obviously it's not been showing anything else since then. Then let's go through to the next page, which is social stats. So multiplayer hours 167. Did play quite a bit of Call of Duty on zombies, so I'm guessing that's where nearly all of those have come from. Parties joined 89. I do chat on there quite often, and messages sent 28. Don't tend to use the messaging as much because I use Discord more than anything else for messaging. Then just look at the final page, if there's anything on there. So the final page is saying that's a wrap, what a year, final score, and look, so essentially it's just a summary. Games played 151, Army of Ruin top game on there, total trophies 2,296, and hours played 1,851, which all are incorrect because there's no PlayStation 3 or Vita. So now let's take a look at True Trophies instead. So taking a look now at the True Trophies website and see what they've got down as my year on PlayStation, which is their wrap-up equivalent. So if we move down and I will hit play. So, roundup of the 2025 PlayStation highlights. They are showing Platinum's 86, which is a lot more accurate to the official PlayStation website one. They've got that the rarest Platinum trophy I had was on Stick Fight, which is interesting. Completed 101 games in total. The highest scoring games, which is interesting. This is showing as The Escapists 2, followed by The Escapists, and then followed by Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So The Escapists 1 and 2, they were two games I played during the True Trophies High Score Challenge, and the sort of score that they show there is the score that True Trophies gives it. So that's essentially taken into account rarity, difficulty, and other factors as well, on top of like the standard XP that PlayStation gives it. Fantastic series. I've also completed the series and did the Walking Dead one as well. Highly recommend it, and probably one of the biggest highlights of 2025. Let's move on to the next section. How many trophies did I unlock? So 2,909. So as you can see from the stats, it's a lot more than what it was showing on the official PlayStation one. My rarest non-platinum was A grade in Ghost Runner, so complete another awakening without dying. So that was my rarest non-platinum trophy that I got. Let's have a look at the next. So there's all the stats broken down into different months. So May was my busiest with 356 trophies in total. August with 335 being the second. Majority of the other months though, fairly sort of standard, fairly average throughout the month. And then December obviously still to be confirmed. And next up we have how many games did I play. It was 114 games in total. And my most played game was Aliens Fireteam Elite. So that's the game I put the most amount of hours into. Unfortunately though, I wasn't able to count this as my most played game or the 100 plus hour game in my Ultimate Trophy Hunters Challenge, because I'd already started it and it was above the 5% threshold. But obviously I put a lot of hours into this at the beginning of the year to get the platinum, and ended up being my 300th milestone. And next up we've got what were my DLC stats. So I actually played 38 DLCs, and there's 527 trophies from it. My completion percentage is around 87.54 on here. 40 different genres in total, and according to True Trophies, adventure games, platformers, and then first-person shooters were my most played. How many days? I'm on a 347 day streak, which is still active. Then looking at the how I compare to the average True Trophies member. So as you can see from there, I got 187,185 True Trophy points, and that's average is only 25,000, and in total trophies 2,909, where the average on the website is only 555, so way above the average, which is not surprising, being that I've been doing the Ultimate Trophy Hunters Challenge. And as you can see there, the highlights is 2,891 trophies showing on this. That's 113 games, 86 platinums, and I'm up to 621 on the PlayStation score. And Aliens Fireteam Elite being my most played game. So personally, I think the True Trophies wrap up is a bit better than the official PlayStation one, being that it does include the PlayStation 3 and Vita games, so the stats are a lot more accurate. They match up almost exactly to the Ultimate Trophy Hunters Challenge stats that I've been keeping myself. They're out by just 1 or 2 trophies, because obviously I'm not sure when this was captured, and I've earned a few trophies yesterday. So overall, I think it's interesting stats to look at, and I think I prefer the True Trophies website stats to the overall sort of official PlayStation ones. So let me know in the comments, do you use True Trophies? Have you looked at your stats on there? And do you have a look at the Sony official PlayStation wrap up, and do you take much stock in that? Please let me know in the comments. So that's it for another week's vlog, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I want to take this opportunity to say a warm welcome to Gamer Darkly, who joined the community this week, and a big thank you to all of these gaming legends you can currently see on screen who are my community members. Also a big thank you to everyone out there that likes the videos and subscribes to the channel, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing, as it really does help to support the channel. Also, I love reading all of your comments and reply to every single one, so let me know what games you're playing, what platinums you've been earning, and what have been your gaming highlights of 2025. With all that being said, please enjoy your games, take care, and look after yourselves.